To say that Hailie Deegan's NASCAR career has not gone as planned is an understatement. And I think everybody has seen that so far, and you have two sides that have really built up with it. Those who are very critical of Deegan and those who are, I would say, in a lot of ways, making reasons or excuses even up for why the performance hasn't been there. But the truth is that we can all agree she has not performed well. And I think we need to talk a bit about Deegan and have that tough conversation that a lot of people just seem to want to ignore or bypass. That Hailie Deegan right now is on a trajectory to go nowhere in NASCAR. 5 years ago, Hailie Deegan was the fastest rising star in American motorsports. Anywhere you looked, this girl was making guest appearances all over YouTube, all over social media everywhere, and you were thinking that she could be the next superstar of NASCAR. And to be fair, her early starts, in the lower series at least, showed that, yeah, she might have been able to have that potential. But now, she's struggling for top 30 speed in the Xfinity Series, and she has had an abysmal time in her 3 full seasons in trucks. But we need to go all the way back here. Go back to the K&N days, really where the hype started to build up. She did win, and it was set up really early on well for her to have a good, successful career. What looked at the time to be a competitive field had her in 3rd and 4th best and 3rd and 5th in points in consecutive years. And while that field has not panned out, at the time, it looked to have a lot of promise. And some of those that didn't pan out were more because of money than talent. So it really looked like there was a bit of a path being made for her. She was in the Toyota pipeline. It looked like she was going to have a pretty well-made pathway and ladder up into maybe even the Gibbs system, but then, well, she moved up the ranks. And while I don't disagree with her moving up to ARCA, we would soon see a bit of a rushed process with her. In the season and about a third of her time in ARCA that she ran, she went winless. In 2020, she finished 3rd in points, but while being winless, she also didn't stack up to those who were dominating even at part-time during this season, Ty Gibbs and Sam Mayer. And yes, Sam Mayer and Ty Gibbs are very talented drivers, and people will bring up that they are 2 of the biggest prospects of that era. Ty Gibbs now is a full-time driver in the Cup Series, and Sam Mayer is one of the winningest drivers in recent years for the Xfinity Series. They definitely surpassed Deegan and were ahead of her at a similar time in their developmental careers. And with this too, you basically have at 18 years old that she'd only have 1 year of ARCA experience. It's not unheard of, especially if you're somebody like Ty Gibbs or Sam Mayer, but for somebody who is shown to struggle to win, has shown to struggle to even get top 5s at times in ARCA, well, that's something that is a bit of a worry because yes, ARCA does not translate 100% to trucks, Xfinity, or Cup, but it is an important step on the developmental line. And with this too, another year probably would have helped her progression. I think she probably would have won an ARCA race or 2 in year 2 had that been an option. But that's not what happened. Instead, she'd rise up the ladder and, in many people's opinion, be rushed up. But for the majority of people that thought, nah, don't worry about it. Trucks won't be that much of an issue. She just needs the right truck to be in. The problem being, every driver needs the right truck or car to be in. And we saw a 16th place finish in 2020 for her lone truck start at Kansas that year. And in a vacuum, that's a very solid start. The problem is in her next 68 races in the series, only 18 had finishes above that run, so top 15s. So in 69, nice, starts, 51 of them were 16th place finishes or worse. And most, if not the at least majority of the recent Truck Series starts were in shorter fields too, which makes it even less impressive, her performance. In 2021, she got a top 10 and basically averaged a 21st place finish. This equipment the year before with Ryan Preece did win, but she was the best driver for this team. So again, many thought maybe it was just a downturn in team performance. The next year with 2 top 10s and a 22nd place average, she finished 21st in the point standings. She was outran though by Tanner Gray. and a part-time Ryan Preece. In 10 starts out of 23, Preece managed to finish 3 spots higher than her in the point standings. And in 2023, she moved to ThorSport, where she got 2 top 10s and a 21st place average, finished 19th in the point standings. And while ThorSport was not as strong as in recent years, 2 of their drivers made the playoffs with Ben Rhodes and Matt Crafton. Rhodes making it all the way to the Final 4 in Phoenix, where he would end up winning the championship. Yeah, I get it, it's fluky and all, but he ran well enough both to make the playoffs and win that championship. So you gotta compare her to the equipment she's in, and it was just bad. While ThorSport has faltered in 2024, Rhodes, Crafton, and Garcia all have outran Deegan's 2023 results. And DGR turned Tricon wasn't great in 2021 either, but this team has relatively, compared to that time, been on an upswing. So it's not like these teams were lost causes. All of this leads to the Xfinity Series, and in my opinion, for no reason. The fan excuse is that the Truck Series isn't a serious series. It is a complete demolition derby, and you cannot really have any argument of talent development here. But the problem is we've seen talent development. Rajah Caruth, for instance, has improved. He's not perfect at this point, but he's improved as a driver over time, whereas Deegan never really improved. She stayed around the same place. And when you're staying around the middle to the back of the pack, when you're around the squirrels, you're managed to get caught up in all of their incidents. And that's in large part what did happen to Deegan, but she also got herself into problems at times too that were completely avoidable for probably a more experienced driver, which is what she needed before trucks: experience. See, in 2022, Deegan did make a lone Xfinity Series start at Las Vegas. She ran an SHR-powered car and finished 13th on the day. A very solid run. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about that. It shows she does have real talent. But so far in 2024, it has been terrible with AM Racing. She averages 27th position. She only has 3 top 20s in 16 races and is 27th in the point standings. While many were comparing her to where the Hendrick drivers are in points, or owner points at least, when it comes to the Xfinity Series, currently she is behind after running full-time, every full-timer, as well as Eric Almirola and Kyle Sieg, who have made 5 and 14 starts apiece in the series this year. She's 2 points ahead of Ryan Truex, who's made 10 less starts than her this year. And when you compare to Brett Moffitt last year in 2023 in the same equipment, she has 1 less top 5, 9 less top 10s, 12 spots lower in the point standings, and 9 spots lower in average finish. Overall, with the outlook here, it is dismal. She is looking horrible in her Xfinity Series start, and while she could improve, there's no real basis from the Truck Series, or even ARCA for that matter, to say that she will have a meaningful increase in performance. And she's arguably underperformed at every level when you look back on it with 2020 vision on it. She failed to win in ARCA, which she probably should have had at least 1 win in that time. She was lower in the points than guys like Derek Kraus in the K&N days. And while we've went through her truck and Xfinity days, they're not much better than the worst of her ARCA time. When it comes to all of this, the excuses for me at this point are nauseating. I like Hailie Deegan as a personality. I think she's great for the sport. But as a driver, she has not performed. And the excuses of ARCA being a complete joke in many's eyes, I don't like that, because a lot of different ARCA races, people complain about being boring because they don't wreck. And yeah, equipment can be a lot of that, but still, she probably should have had at least that extra year of experience. When you look at trucks, many say, well, the Truck Series isn't a good litmus test for talent. It's just a demolition derby. Except you can avoid that demolition derby by running well and fast. And they say her Xfinity ride is absolutely horrible. And while I don't think it's a top tier or even playoff caliber ride, it's not horrible. It's middle of the pack at best, not back of the pack. And if it is powered by SHR, like many are saying, well, then she should be running better, as SHR in the Xfinity Series is an elite level team. What I think is true is that Deegan is the common denominator. I think that she was rushed up through the ranks, and I feel bad for her for that reason, but many drivers are. And that doesn't change the results. If this is any other driver than Hailie Deegan, we are probably all calling this out. But we're not. A lot of people are making excuses or turning the other way on it. The tough truth is that Deegan has not improved. I think that she, at the moment, is well on her way to being one of the biggest busts of the last decade. And we're 6 years basically in, and there are no meaningful results. That needs to be said. It's not being mean. It's not ripping her as a person. It's simply stating the truth. And some more people need to talk about that. So with that, I want to hear what you want to talk about. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of Hailie Deegan's career. Am I being too tough, or am I saying what people should be saying? Let me know down there. While you're at it, leave a like in this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel for more great and mostly fun NASCAR content. And until next time, have a good one.